Hey guys, welcome to this podcast, and we're going to talk about on October 30th, 1978, the night he came home. I am your host, Chrystello Lovebello, with my co-host, Tessa Baker.
Hello.
And the guys, Lamont, Barry, and Paul.
What is going on?
And this is my very favorite Halloween movie, Halloween. Alright. So, 1963, Halloween night is the night that 6-year-old Michael Myers killed his sister. So, that's how we get introduced to Michael, which his sister is Judith. So, what do you guys think about that? What do you guys feel about Michael killing his sister? Like, what did you thought were your thoughts on that part? Like, do you think he was justified in killing his sister, or you were just like, what the hell? Why did he kill her?
I always had a question of why he killed her.
I'm with Barry on that one. I'm curious as to why, he killed her, why he felt the need to kill her. I don't know if it was because he viewed her as, I don't know, indecent or something like that, or what it was.
Yeah, that's one thing I like about the film anyway, is because of how mysterious Michael really is. And killing his own sister kind of makes you wonder exactly, why? Why did he even do it to begin with? But can we just talk about that weird scene, though, when Michael goes outside and the parents see him, and they're just, acting all normal, like, Michael? And then they're just, not freaking out, especially with the fact that the blade has blood on it and stuff, like nobody's freaking out? Like, what the hell?
They were all, nonchalant with the whole situation.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
Yeah. I've always found that one scene just to be like, why are you not freaking out about your kid holding a bloody knife? But anyway, cut off.
I don't know. I guess that's the only one thing I can give, which we're not going to talk about this a whole bunch because I don't, consider them a part of the Halloween movies. But the Rob Zombie film, his first Halloween, I do kind of appreciate that they kind of show in his version of why Michael killed his sister, because it was in an abusive family. That's the only good redeeming part of the films right there, and only that, because you really don't know it. Did he just snap? Did he get mad? Was he being treated badly? Why did he kill his sister? Mm-hmm. What justified that?
Yeah, and I'll give him that.
I will give Rob Zombie that fact right there, that they showed that he had a shitty childhood. Yep. And that's why he did what he did.
Yes.
That's the only redeeming part of the Rob Zombie film, but we're not going to talk about that one anymore, because that doesn't exist in my Halloween repertoire. There's just, negative.
It's already bad enough that my Blu-ray collection of all the Halloween movies actually include both his Halloween films. And I'm just if there was a way I could just, not have these in here, it would be great.
That'd be great. There's 3 films from Halloween that I do not like. The third one, and Rob Zombie ones. Those 3 just can go away forever, and that'd be perfectly fine.
You didn't like Season of the Witch?
I did not like Season of the Witch at all. It was good if it wasn't a Halloween movie. If it had been something completely different, away, and not had the Halloween title, fine. That's perfectly okay. But it had nothing to do with Michael Myers. It had nothing to do with him. So I was like, why is this in here? This doesn't belong. This is something completely white. It was in a different universe. It wasn't even the same universe that he's in. The only thing that gave credit to him is they showed the first Halloween on TV. And I'm like, this is not a Halloween film. This is a different movie entirely. Get out of this series right now. But anyway, so Michael Myers at the age of 21 escapes the sanatorium that he's in, Grossmith Sanatorium, and he actually goes back to Haddonfield to kill his other sister, Laurie Strode, which, of course, Laurie doesn't know that they're related. Michael knows, but she has no clue. And in the movie, you have Dr. Loomis and I think she was a nurse or another psychiatrist, going looking for him. Or they go, the sanatorium or somewhere, if I can remember correctly. And they go to see him. I think they're about to move him somewhere else.
Yeah, they are about to move him.
And he ends up breaking out and stealing the vehicle that Dr. Loomis and the lady have.
Well, wasn't the lady's name like Marion or something like that? Marion,
Yeah, Marion.
Yeah.
Marion's something.
Chalmers,
something like that.
Like yeah.
But he ends up taking the vehicle from him and takes off. First of all, in the words, it's like Dr. Loomis says it too. Who in the hell taught Michael Myers how to drive?
Right? Where did you learn this?
What? I know he's 21, but I'm pretty sure the Crazy House didn't give them driver's ed lessons.
Mm-hmm.
No, but he probably paid close attention to, like, the bus driver or something.
But then again, I don't see Michael going anywhere because, Loomis talks about how he spent 6 years trying to talk to him and help him, and then the rest of the time he spent trying to keep him locked away.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see him getting on buses too much. But that doesn't mean he didn't watch people drive. Like, I'm sure he could look out his window and watched, and somehow he figured it out. Somehow
he was probably able to watch TV, so.
That too. So he found out some way how to figure out how to drive a vehicle.
That is true. Yeah, we don't know for sure how, like what Crystal said, but yeah, that does make a good point.
So, I want to talk about the costume. What do you think about Michael Myers' costume? If you guys don't know, like, I don't know how anyone doesn't know now, but Michael Myers' costume, his mask, is a William Shatner mask, painted white.
Yeah, I like it how throughout the movie it shows that he kills him. He's got the mechanic outfit going on, but then he's rocking around with that mask, and it's all it is you just cut the eyes out and it's all white. It's all painted white. But that basically I thought the costume was kind of like it wasn't really, there wasn't much thought process into making his costume originally. But I thought that, like, as time went by with all the movies and all that stuff, even after the first movie, that's a sight that nobody can ever forget. You know what I mean? Like, seeing that white mask with that outfit. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's an iconic mask, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look at, like, there's a lot of iconic masks. Like, look at Leatherface, Michael, Jason, Sam, what's another one? Freddy. You could, I know he's not really a mask, but, like, you can almost treat it like a mask. I guess, maybe? I don't know.
It's like, with all of those characters, you see Jason, Michael, Leatherface, they're all sick things, you know what I mean? That just when you put them together, it kind of makes them look kind of creepy. You know what I mean? It's not like they actually took the time and effort into, when you see major horror nowadays where they do all this makeup and CGI stuff, like you don't ever see that because back in the day they didn't have all that. So it's like the classic. It's the little things, like basic things that when they were put on the right way became such an iconic look for the killers.
And that's another thing. We'll talk about CGI for a minute. So, I hate CGI. Like, unless it's done right. And lately, there's a way too much CGI shit. I just wanted to throw it in there for a minute. And that's what kind of scares me now about like these new films is the CGI. Like, are we ever gonna go back to the practical effects way where it actually looks real? Or are we just gonna just become a century of CGI? So I just wanted to throw that out there, and if anybody wants to comment about CGI, please go ahead.
Well, I mean, honestly, my opinion, I mean, Hollywood had for the longest time, I don't know if any of you guys remember this, but I can't remember the movie that they got the idea from or what it was, but Hollywood a long time ago had like this big uproar in like in movies that were making especially those horror films that were making the movies look really, really gruesome with the blood flow and the fat and like I remember hearing that like Hollywood like had a small lawsuit, or not a lawsuit, but it was like Hollywood got attacked for a little while because a lot of the public didn't like the fact that they were making these horror films and they made them look like an actual serial killer in real life, like went into the house and stabbed somebody to death. Like it actually looked like the blood, the everything. Like there was a controversy for the longest time of that, because I remember talking about it because
yeah,
my
you
mom,
know how that probably got started.
I can't remember what movie or how it got started, but I do remember the Oh yeah, was that what it was?
Yeah, it had to have been Cannibal Holocaust. But
it probably was. Yeah, it probably was.
Well, Cannibal Holocaust looks so real that the guy who made the film actually had to prove that all the people that were in that film were still alive.
Yeah, it was just crazy, man.
Yeah.
But I know that's one of the reasons why a lot of things nowadays are... I know that right there has a big part of why there's a lot of CGI nowadays, because like Hollywood, how Hollywood was attacked that time period with what was going on and how realistic everything was being made, and how I guess the public was quote unquote being disturbed on what they were watching. Like in my opinion, if you're disturbed, then just don't watch the thing in the first place. Don't ruin the experience for everybody else. Oh, because okay, we watch somebody get cut in half with a chainsaw or something nowadays, and like even with those, like somebody gets cut in half with a chainsaw now, like back in the day, it looked real as shit. Like oh my god, that hurts me just watching that. And like that you enjoyed it, but then there's people out there that didn't enjoy it. So it's like, oh, they complain that they got their balls tied in a knot, so they're like not happy with the fact that, oh, it looked too real. So what happens? They attack Hollywood, and next thing you know, here comes all this CGI. Well, we still want to make it look real as all get out, but we have to dumb it down a little bit. That's basically what I think CGI is, dumbing it down, and I don't like it.
Well, it's not just that, but it's like you don't have to worry about the practical effect, if you know what I mean. Like you can do it much more cheaper now, rather than wasting the practical effects, blah blah blah. Yeah, I just find CGI to become a problem now, and especially if you're gonna okay, so I bet everybody here has heard that John Carpenter is bringing back Halloween next year on October 20th. I believe was the release date that we got.
I heard about that.
I know about it.
So one thing I just really hope too is that I just hope there is no CGI in it, especially since it's a horror movie. But I don't think Halloween even should need any CGI. But just in case, for some weird reason, it does have CGI, please, for the love of God, just do it right and don't have too much of it. That's the only thing I'm just asking. But on that note, I am definitely looking forward to John Carpenter's Halloween next year.
Well, you all know I am. I'm definitely glad John Carpenter's stepping back in to work on the Halloweens.
Now,
and hopefully it does it justice.
Now, here's something else that I learned about the new John Carpenter film, which I don't know how many of you guys even heard it as well, but did you also hear that John Carpenter is pretty much saying fuck all the sequels and prequels to this?
Oh yeah, this one's actually supposed to be the second film in the series.
Yeah.
So the new one that's coming out next year is supposed to be the second one to
this one that we're talking about tonight. This is going to be the second film. All the other ones, pretty much said fuck them.
Yep.
Which messes up the timeline so bad. Poor Halloween's timeline is so fucked. And I watched something, I was reading something, and it showed like a diagram, and someone said it looks like a Dr. Seuss picture because it just has different branches. And then it gets down to the very bottom, and it has like a bunch of scribble scratchels on it because the timeline's so fucked up.
Yep.
It doesn't make any sense, really.
Yeah. What about you,
But
Ben?
Lamont, Tessa, you got anything to say? You guys have been quiet.
I'm actually looking forward to the fact that John Carpenter is coming back to do Halloween 2. Because I enjoyed the first one by him so much. You know, you can't beat original.
No.
And CGI is okay if it's done right and it's not done in mass amounts and overkilling it, like Paul says. But, you know, as long as, you know, John Carpenter does it right, and I think he will, and I'm hoping he will.
It's his baby, so he better.
So, yeah, it is his baby, and I would expect him to take care of his baby and do it right, so...
Yeah, we
So
would...
I'm looking forward to it as well.
We would, not like to have, another, Ridley Scott thing.
No, please no.
Please not.
Oh, God.
No.
On that note, Lamont, what did you have to say about the new Halloween?
I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it be good. I mean, look who we have supposedly doing it and whatnot, right? So,
No, she's doing it. Yeah, she's definitely back.
Yeah, so, I mean, I know times change and whatnot, so it's going to fit more to the tone of, you know, this millennium, which isn't a bad thing, but...
No,
everything...
but are we still wearing the same outfit, just like in the original Halloween? So... We got that.
I am just glad that a certain musician is not making another one.
Personally, about this one compared to hopefully the new one, we already know. I don't know. Maybe it was just me though. I did notice that a lot of the acting and a lot of the way that the characters portray themselves in the movie, it wasn't the best.
It was cheesy.
It was
great for its time. Yeah,
exactly. So I already know coming out now, you're gonna have, especially if Carpenter's coming back to do another one, you're gonna definitely get that. You're definitely gonna get the better acting in this one. So I think adding that, the good acting aspect of it, and like you were saying, Paul and everybody, with the, if you're gonna do CGI, do it right. And then especially adding Carpenter back to it, I think that's going to be phenomenal, really. Honestly, I really do. I think, yeah, and I agree with what Crystal says. The timeline is really messed up with how they did Michael Myers and everything. But, I mean, at the end of the day, the way that they did this one, I really enjoyed it. So I can't see what they do bringing back Carpenter to make them and direct them. And I think it's going to be a really good... I'm just really excited about it. I just hope that they bring the more of the acting aspects of it back, to where you have better acting and you have like I said, if you're going to use CGI, then do it right. Because I mean, if you're not going to use CGI, I want to see Michael Myers slit somebody's throat and it actually looks like somebody just got their fucking throat slit. You know what I mean? I don't want it to be all CGI'd out. You know what I mean? Of oh, because they don't want to make it look less gruesome. If I'm watching get their throat slit, I want to see blood, you know what I mean? I want to see blood. I want to make it to where if somebody's getting their throat slit, I want to make sure that I'm going to hold my throat. Damn, that looked like it hurt. Damn. Shit. You know, I want it to feel realistic, you know what I mean? And I hope that next year when they do this one, I hope that it pleases me, really, honestly.
So, what do you guys think about the fact that they're bringing Jamie Lee Curtis back?
Yeah, that
Best choice for the movie.
They are bringing her back as Laurie.
Yeah, they are.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
she's
they
perfect.
are.
She
What do
already
you
did
guys
the
think
principal
about that?
photography for.
Perfect, and that's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be phenomenal.
From what I heard, that I don't know if it's true, but in this film, Michael and Laurie aren't to be brother and sister.
They're not?
That's what someone was saying, and I'm like,
how are you going to change that aspect?
If it's the sequel to the first.
If it's the sequel to the first one, so are we going into finding out that there was a DNA test on? Like, you know what I mean? Like, did we have a Maury moment here? You know what I mean? Did it turn out that she is not the brother to them? Like, I mean, how are you going to do that?
Well, remember, I mean, she doesn't know in the first film, she didn't know she was related to Michael.
Right.
Well, yeah.
So, I mean, I guess they're trying to play off on that. But then again, why would Michael be coming specifically back for you? Also, Jamie is Laurie's daughter. So, in this new timeline, she doesn't even have a kid. Jamie does not exist in this timeline. And y'all gotta watch 4 and 5 to understand who Jamie is. But that's Michael Myers' niece. And so in this timeline, Laurie never has a daughter. And his niece doesn't even exist. So, I mean, think about that. Like, there's a lot of shit that they're messing up with this timeline. Just like the Celtic curse that he's supposed to have put, and that gives him his evil powers.
Yeah.
Sound like a clusterfuck to me.
Well, I think what also made the timeline a great big clusterfuck was Resurrection and H2O.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a major clusterfuck because especially
at least they didn't make a Halloween X. And
thank God.
You know, Jason X.
well, yeah, but
not yet.
Michael in space.
But herein lies the clusterfuck though, because in Halloween Resurrection, he kills her.
Yeah.
He kills Laurie. She dies.
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're right.
This is like a major clusterfuck.
But it doesn't matter anyway because with this new one coming out next year, pretty much everything
she doesn't
that we
die.
know,
everything after the first one is scrapped.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, except for the original, but everything else after the original just doesn't exist. So
it's like mini verses in the universe, like things of what could have happened. Pretty much, if they scrap everything after the first, those are the films of what could have happened if this didn't. That's how it's going to be.
Agreed.
Sounds like some DC comics right there. Different multiverses, the shit that happens. That's exactly what it is.
It's Bizarro World.
There's something out of freaking Family Guy with fucking Stewie and Brian time travel.
It sounds exactly like that DC story, Crisis Infinite Earth.
I don't think I've heard of that one, but okay. I believe you, Lamont. I believe you.
I know what Lamont's talking about.
Okay.
No, I honestly, my opinion throughout the whole thing is if you're going to do a movie, then follow the series, you know what I mean? So if they're going to do, you know what I mean? I would like to see them be like, if they're going to do the second one, they're planning on continuing to do these. Like, have one guy make it, you know, or have one person make it. Like, leave it to Carpenter, because John Carpenter's the one that, you know, designed the first one in the first place, and it was really good. So let him take it. Let them have it. Like, you don't need all these.
With Barry, it goes right back to what I was saying before. We don't need another. Hopefully this won't become like another Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, I missed that part.
So, yeah. Anyway, we're getting a little bit, I think, far ahead now. But, Crystal, let's get back on track. Unless somebody else needs to say something real quick or mention. No? Okay. Crystal, go for it.
Alright, so Michael Myers gets his suit and his mask, and
Takes off in the car.
He takes the car. Yeah. The next day is when you meet Lori and her friends. Or Annie, Beckett, and Linda von Derklock. Those are her buddies. And this is the first time you actually see, like, Michael Myers, like, stalking them in the vehicle, and they think it's somebody else. They think it's one of her buddies' boyfriends or something like that, or someone they like in the police car.
They think it's like Bob or Paul, I think.
Something like that, and they, he speeds off, and they yell, "Speed kills!" And Michael actually slams the brakes, and he stays parked in that road for a minute, and they all just kind of, like, stop. They're like, oh, shit, maybe it wasn't him, and we pissed off who that is. And then he finally keeps going and drives off and disappears.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So when Dr.
Can I just mention real quick, how the fuck did Michael even hear that? Like, the other part, though? Like, I understand he heard the first part when she was shouting, which caused him to hit the brake. I understand that much. But when she just like, maybe it wasn't him or whatever. Like, how does he, oh yeah, she's like, can't he take a joke or whatever? And then that's when Michael starts driving again. But how the hell does Michael hear that to make him go, oh, okay, and then drives off again? Or am I just, like, not understanding that scene, like, too well?
I think he was just doing it as, like, intimidation, because, like, in a way, I think he was waiting for them to see if they're actually going to walk up on him. And they didn't, and they kind of just stood there. He kind of was like, all right, well, I'm going to... And he kind of, like, drove off. That's how I took it. I had a feeling he was waiting for them to walk up close to the car. But if someone slammed the brake that on me, I would walked up to that car either. I'd be like, fuck all that. Yeah, I ain't going up to that car. I'm going to turn around and go the opposite way, probably.
Right.
Because whoever's in that car is pissed off at me right now. But that's when Dr. Loomis shows up, and he actually talks to Annie's dad, which is actually the sheriff of Haddonfield. Brackett. Sheriff Brackett. And he's trying to explain to him, Michael Myers is back in town. He's dangerous. You need to listen to me. I'm not kidding you. You need to tell people to be, warn these people that he's back. And, like, they kind of, like, don't really believe him too much. And, but they do go into the old Myers house, him and Sheriff Brackett, and, like, you could tell that he's been there. And so, like, Brackett kind of agrees to, like, I'll work with you. And and Lewis tells his guys to don't go publicly announce this, but keep your guys on alert. So that if something does happen, you know who it is.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, see, after that, they go to, I think when it's nighttime, and that's when you meet Tommy Doyle. Oh, little Tommy Doyle. And that's who Lori's actually babysitting. Because Lori babysits, Lori Strode's like the book nerd, shy kind of girl. She don't party, she don't do all that. She's a good girl. And of course, Annie and I always forget the other girl, Linda.
Lindsay, I think her name.
No, Linda.
Oh, is it Linda?
It's Linda. They always give her crap, because they both have boyfriends and they mess with her about babysitting the kids on Halloween. And actually, where Lori's over there babysitting Tommy Doyle, Annie brings over the young little girl, that's Lindsay. Lindsay's the little girl that stays over with Tommy Doyle.
Oh, okay.
And
hang on a sec, guys. I don't mean to cut you off, Crystal. My sister's calling.
Okay.
So I just wanted y'all to be aware if while I'm silent.
Oh, that's fine.
All right.
But backtracking a little bit, before Annie brings Lindsay over to Tommy Doyle's house, they're at Lindsay's house, and Annie is actually on the phone with Lori talking, and he ends up spilling popcorn oil or cooking oil on her shirt when she's popping popcorn. She goes to wash her clothes, and then you see Michael Myers kind of lurking behind the washroom. Like, she's on the phone, but she's actually washing her clothes, and you see Michael lock her into the washroom.
Mm-hmm.
And she actually ends up finally getting to come unlock her, because Lindsay's been watching the TV and not paying attention, and they have a dog that keeps barking, and Annie actually tells Lori at one time that I swear this dog fucking hates me. But the dog isn't barking at her. The dog's barking at the door. Kind of giving you the illusion or the idea there's someone outside that the dog senses and he's trying to warn them. And she ends up letting the dog out, and I believe the dog gets killed before she goes into the washroom.
Yeah.
But she lets the German Shepherd out, and he goes up there and he's barking, bark, bark, bark. And he keeps barking, and Annie tells Lindsay that the dog's barking, but finally the dog walks around the house, and there's Michael Myers. And the dog's growling at him, and the next thing you hear is the dog squeal, and he shuts up. And there goes the poor pooper. He's dead.
Yep. Poor dog.
Of course, it was sad to see a dog die in the movie, too.
I don't like when any animals die.
Yeah.
I was like, poor pup.
If you guys don't like any animal dying, then I'm going to warn you now about a movie called Die and Breathe.
I thought you were going to say Cannibal Holocaust. I was like, I've already seen that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And they actually killed them. Them animals are actually live animals.
Yep.
But, so Annie gets locked into the washroom. She finally gets Lindsay to get her out. And Annie wants to go see her boyfriend. So she convinces Lindsay to go stay at Tommy Doyle's house and carve pumpkins and watch horror movies. She agrees. So I want to say that she walks her over there to the house. And when she comes back to get into the car to leave, she realizes she doesn't have her keys. So Annie goes back in the house, gets her car keys. Now her car door is locked the first time. The second time, though, I don't think she puts the car keys in to unlock it. I think the door is already unlocked. And when she gets into the car, she's getting all pretty and cute or whatever, and she realizes the car windshield is fogged up. She goes to rub on it, and the next thing you see is Michael Myers coming from the back seat of that car and starts strangling her.
Why won't you die?
She put up a fight. She put up a fight, I tell you that.
Yes, she did.
They tussle and they fight, and he finally ends up strangling and killing her.
And that was at least until Michael slit her throat.
Yep.
Did he slit her throat, or did he just press her windpipe?
No, he strangled her, and I think when she was finally like out or something, I think if I remember right, he slit her throat to finally kill her.
Okay, so
if I remember.
Yeah, you definitely see.
If I remember, like I said, I think if I remember right, I think he strangles her, and then as unconscious or something, he finally kills her by slitting her throat. I do remember that.
So I remember she falls forward and lands on the car horn, and the damn car horn's blaring, which I don't know how anyone in that neighborhood did not hear that damn car horn going on.
Yeah, that thing was going off loud. Dude,
I don't know if the garage would make it hard to hear or what. So you got to think she was also in the garage. But even then, yeah, you should still hear it, right?
I thought so. That's a loud car horn. But no one in the neighborhood heard it. I was like, all right. So.
Well, talk about a quiet
Yes, no
garage.
one cares. You talk about quiet neighborhood, that's a quiet neighborhood. No one, everyone seems to mind their own business in that neighborhood.
Right.
So then the next victim is Linda, which is Lori's other friend, in which this is actually one of the iconic horror scenes from the film, because this is the scene where you see Michael Myers put on the fucking bed sheet and the glasses.
Yeah,
and
I remember
so everyone has either seen a GIF or a picture of him with the bed sheet and the glasses on. So I think actually Linda and Annie and her boyfriend, they're all supposed to meet up, I believe. But Linda and Bob, of course, it's an 80s film. Well, excuse me, 70s, 80s film. Of course, the fucking sex. And after they have their little makeout session, Bob actually goes downstairs to get beers. And on the way back up, Michael Myers shows up and ends up stabbing Bob against the wall and propping him up on the wall with a knife.
I was going to say, doesn't he, pin him up there?
He pins him up on the wall with his knife.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he ends up killing him.
Yep. And then he just kind of staring at his creation that he just did. Like, I just hung this guy.
A masterpiece.
This is
a masterpiece.
Awesome.
And that's when, of course, that scene happens. Linda's in bed, and he shows back up in the door frame, and the white sheet and the glasses, and she thinks that it's actually Bob, and she's teasing him and all that, talking about, oh, well, that's cute, So I think she said there's she says something else to him, and she ends up calling Lori. And when Lori actually answers is when he actually attacks her and kills her. And Lori hears Linda being strangled and killed on the phone. And Lori's like, now I got to hear your sexual moans.
Yeah,
really?
She's
You're
like,
gonna call me and tell me this?
Yeah, I got to hear this now? Jesus Christ, yeah.
Then, let's stop there because I don't want to go too far. And what was your guys' thoughts so far on what we talked about? Annie's death, Linda's death. Going Michael Myers' house with Dr. Loomis and Sheriff Brackett. What did you guys have to say about any of that?
Well, with me, I would say I knew I had a feeling. I had a feeling what was it? Shoot, I can't remember her name already. Jesus Christ, you just said it.
Linda,
yeah. I had a feeling Annie was gonna die. I knew that was gonna happen. But Linda, I don't know. A part of me wasn't expecting to see Michael show back up right then and there. But I definitely enjoyed watching the whole Bob killing because I thought that was hilarious, and I thought it was hilarious too because I remember when I watched, I thought it was funny the fact that the whole time if you see a dog the whole time when he puts on the sheet and the glasses. And he's standing in the doorway, and she's sitting there, teasing him. You know what I mean? Okay. But, wouldn't you think the whole time some shit would be said? You know what I mean? He wouldn't just be standing there looking like a statue. You know what I mean? I'm going to talk dirty and sexually tease you, right? And the dude, come on, if that was me in that situation, I'd be like, oh, yeah, you upset, blah, blah, blah. I'd be getting into that shit, right? But then the fact he's just standing there, and then she calls, Lori. Yeah, she calls Lori up. And she's like, and that's when you see him start strangling her. And I thought it was just so funny that Lori didn't act like nothing was happening. She was and she was brushed. She's like, oh, so now I got to hear your sex moans now. She was just she wasn't even she didn't even understand and realize to know I'm not fucking playing. I'm getting killed right here. You know what I mean? I thought it was pretty cool how they did that. But by far, in that whole situation, I love seeing Bob's character and the way that Michael killed him, him stabbing him and just pinning him up there on the wall. But when I first saw the sheet with the glasses, I was like, okay, I don't even know what to say in a situation like that. That's just, it's a little disturbing. Okay.
Chuckle about that part.
I'm going to be honest with you. With the sheet, yeah, I can understand. Okay, you're pretending to be a ghost. Woo, woo. But like the fucked up part was the fact that he threw some glasses on that. He threw some glasses on that sheet. He was like, "I'm gonna look professional. I'm a professional looking
Well, it
ghost."
was technically Bob's glasses, so why not?
Yeah. I mean,
gotta
but you
look
would think
the
that
part.
they put him. Yeah. True. You're right. But I definitely like the way they did that. Honestly, yeah, that was cool.
No,
Tessa, your guys' thoughts?
well, I'm gonna go back a minute too, like especially with Tommy trying to tell Rory about the boogeyman, and Rory's like not even seeing Michael walking around yet, and just like there's nobody out there, and then Tommy's like, oh, nobody believed me, and then what's the little girl's name again?
Lindsay?
Yeah, Lindsay. She's like, I believe you, Tommy. Like that right there just kind of, like, I like how they did it because in a way it's almost like, once again, it's like that whole, a kid tells a parent, like, thing. Like, a kid tells the parent, oh, there's a boogeyman under my bed. And the parent just like, go to bed. Like, there's no fucking boogeyman. Go to bed. And then what happens? there was a boogeyman. So I like how that was kind of played into it too. Like Rory was kind of like the quote unquote parent. Like there's no boogeyman. Like just stop it.
It's just a figment of your imagination, or somebody's trying to make you believe that there's this boogeyman. It doesn't exist.
If you keep talking about the boogeyman, we're gonna have you stop watching all these TVs, horror movies, and books. Stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much my thought too. But as for Bob's death, that's like classical A+ scene right there. The hanging on the wall, it's a masterpiece. With a knife too, butcher's knife, or not butcher, kitchen knife.
Gotta have some strength in that. To hang someone up with a kitchen knife.
Yes.
Yeah. Tacks him up on a wall like a
tic-tac-toe.
like a picture or a piece of art.
Yeah.
Just like, I'm just gonna hang you here for decoration.
Huh, I'm surprised this thing is working. I'm gonna stare at it for a minute. I like this masterpiece I just did.
Yeah, his little, like, his head tilt.
The blood in the wall really brings out the drapes.
Yeah, that too. But yeah, I think that pretty much is it on this side. I mean, like I said, like pretty much the whole Tommy trying to get Rory's attention that somebody is literally like walking around their house, their friend's house, and Rory not seeing it in time. Especially when Tommy is first mentioning about the quote unquote boogeyman standing outside, and Rory, of course, takes their sweet ass time to look at the wrong moment, but it's just like, if anybody ever listened to kids, like if I would, and if I had a kid, and then my kid said there's a boogeyman across the street, I think I'm gonna look right away. That way, if I need to call the cops or whatever, I'm going to call the cops.
I'm gonna call the cops. Yeah, me too. I don't just take my sweet ass time looking if someone tells me something outside. I'm nosy. So I'm gonna look anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
To see what it is.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Exactly.
So, anyone got anything else to say? We good?
I think I stated mine.
Yeah.
We all covered?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Memory don't fail me. All right. So I think after this is when Lori starts to get kind of worried, because I think she either tries to call him back or something happens, and she ends up going to find Linda first, and maybe Annie she goes to first. She finds Annie in the car dead, and she freaks out, so she goes over to find Linda and Bob. Well, when she goes into the house, Bob is dead, but she goes looking for him. She can't find him. And Bob's dead body actually falls out of the closet.
Okay,
that he was
so
in.
so Annie was on the bed with the tombstone.
Yep, laying on the bed with the tombstone. Linda was like stuffed into
That
a
was
closet.
Linda. That was Linda.
Was that one?
That was Linda.
No,
Linda's the blonde.
No.
Linda's stuffed in the closet.
Yeah, Linda was in the closet.
Annie's laying on the bed.
And Bob came
falling out
of the closet or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I just remember one of them was on the bed with Judith Myers' tombstone above her head.
Yeah, that was Annie. That was
okay.
Yeah.
Annie was on the bed.
Yeah.
And that's the first time Michael comes after Lori. She ends up getting away from him, bites him off. Is that when she stabbed him with the needle? By the couch? You know what I'm talking
No, that's back over
was
at
that back
the
at
babysitting.
Doyle's?
Yeah, that's back over at Doyle's. Yeah.
All right, so she ends up Michael tries to attack her and she gets away. Now, this is what don't make no sense to me. She comes out the house screaming and hollering, help me, goes to the neighbor's house, bangs on the door and screams for them to help her. The people open the blinds and look at her and then shut the blinds and turn off the light.
Which, I'm going to stop you right there. What did you and me say about that scene? When War's trying to get help, banging on the door, so the neighbors do the blinds.
What we came up with is that
she couldn't have picked a better night.
She couldn't have picked a better night because it's Halloween night and she's going around all bloodied up and screaming and banging on doors and these people are probably thinking, oh, it's some childish prank or some shit like that.
Yeah, so I'm not in the mood for it. So shut the blind, turn off the light. We're going back to bed, kind of thing. That's exactly how we thought about that scene last night.
But even me, I would still open the door and be like, what the fuck is going on out here? You know, I just wouldn't let someone be banging on my windows like that. I'd be like, can I help you? Now, if you told me that a murder is after you, I'd probably would shut the door and turn the lights off on you. Like, next house. Not this year. But, so, of course, the kids are asleep. The door's alive. She gets back to the Doyles. She can't get in. And she's yelling for Tommy to open up. I think she ends up throwing something at his window to get his attention. He wakes up and she's like, open the door, help me, hurry. He's like, all right, you know.
Take the sweet ass time.
Takes the sweet ass time. And every time she turns around, it's like Michael Myers gains like 5 feet on her. And he barely gets away from him. They get in there and they lock the door. She tells him, look, I want you to go hide. Don't come out unless you hear me say it's okay to come out. So he goes and get him and Lindsay go and hide. And I think that's when Michael Myers comes into the house. This is the part I'm thinking of with the needle by the couch.
Yes.
And I think she's sitting on the couch or she's like, catching her breath or something, I think. And he ends up coming up from behind the couch on her.
Right, but before he does, she notices, like, there's a breeze coming in.
The window.
Yeah.
He opened the window on her.
Yeah.
And of course they're fighting. He's trying to strangle her, and she has, like, a knitting thing. And she grabs that needle and stabs in the neck with it. And he ends up falling back. She thinks he's, I guess, dead. I don't know why you think stabbing someone with a sewing needle is going to kill him. I mean, I guess it could if he hit in the right spot. But he falls down, and she gets up and goes and gets the kids' attentions and tells them, I want you to go next door and get help. And he's telling the kids this. Michael Myers ends up coming back and is coming up, the staircase?
Yeah.
At that time?
Yep.
So the kids end up getting away. Oh, no, the kids have left. Kids leave. And she's in the door, I think she's in the doorway.
No. When Michael comes up, she pretty much tells the kid to get into the room that they were kind of near. And then she told him to get into this other room and lock it. And then
that's what it is.
And then she, what was it? In a bedroom, I believe. I think it's like a bedroom or something. And she opens up the door.
She goes and gets the closet.
Yes, and she goes into the closet.
Now, this is probably not The ghost one is iconic, but this scene right here is probably the most iconic scene from the first movie, and by far my favorite. She's hiding in the closet in the bedroom, and Michael comes in looking for her, and he comes to the closet, and she's got it locked, and he's shaking the closet, and he finally busts through the little wood flats on the closet, and hollering, and just that whole, just the imagery of him swinging his knife and that flicking on and off as he's trying to grab for her and slash at her, and she grabs that coat hanger, unwinds it, and while he's coming after her, she shoves it in his eye, and he falls back. Now, she picks up his knife at this point, and then gets rid of it. I don't know why she done that. I don't know why she picks up the knife and then like kicks it to the side.
Yeah, I was saying.
I would have stabbed him too. I would have like, you want to stay down this time? Fuck all that.
I don't Walking Dead your ass. I'd have stabbed you right in the head. That's just me.
But I mean, that was like her worst mistake. She should have kept. But of course, she's standing in the doorway at this point in time, and it pans to the kids. The kids are going down the street screaming, "Help us! Help us! The boogeyman, help us!" And Dr. Loomis had found Michael Myers' car that he had stolen and had been searching for him. And as he sees the kids screaming and hollering, "Help, help," he ends up going to the Doyle's house, which it pans back to Lori, and she's sitting there. And of course, Michael gets back up, and he starts to strangle her and fight with her. And this is the first time you actually see Michael's face. The first and only time you see it is when she rips that mask up off of him. And he backs up, he pulls it back down, and at that time, Loomis shows up and shoots him 6 times?
Yeah, it was 6.
It's about 6 times, yeah.
And then he falls off the balcony out the window. And Lori looks at Dr. Loomis, and she asks him, "Is that the boogeyman?" And Dr. Loomis pretty much told her, "Yes."
That's the boogeyman.
Yes, it was. And of course, Dr. Loomis goes and looks over at the window where he fell through and looks down, and all that's left is an indentation where Michael had landed.
That's right.
And that is Halloween. So, thoughts? What are you guys' thoughts about the rest of the film?
Alright, so
I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I haven't seen it in a while, and I was like I was telling you guys, I was really bummed out that I wasn't able to rewatch it last night due to me passing out. But I really did enjoy it for the movie and the time period that it was in. Like I said, it didn't have the best acting throughout the whole movie. I think Dr. Loomis did, the guy that played Dr. Loomis.
Donald Pleasance?
Yeah, I think he did a really good job at acting. I really do throughout the movie. You had some good acting. A lot of it was mediocre, but I can understand it was at that time with 1978. So I completely understand. But I really did overall enjoy the movie. It was one of those. It's one of those classics where it's always going to be a classic. I think that in my opinion, I think they should have made more movies based on the John Carpenter aspect of Michael Myers, because it all brings back to what you were saying earlier, where it's a lot of it nowadays is the timeline tree is so messed up, and I really think that if they would have stuck with the John Carpenter Michael Myers, I think that everything would be a lot better series, because everything would make sense a lot more. You know what I mean? That was just my concept but my overall review of the movie, I enjoyed it. I remember the first time I ever watched it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think the first time I ever saw the original Halloween movie, the 1978 version, I think I was 14 or 15 when I originally saw it. Because that was one of the films that my mom loved it. My mom's seen it. She remembers seeing it when it actually came out. and she's always loved it. And that was one of the movies that my mom would always she would tell me, you can watch this, but when you get older, one of those films, you know what I mean? But my mom let me watch it when I was like 14, 15. I sat down and watched it with her one time, and my overall reaction to the movie was it was amazing. It was terrifying seeing it the first time, even though it being a newer one. But I definitely did enjoy it. I definitely liked the way everything was made with it, the concept of it, bring it back up. It was, like I said, the acting was a little mediocre, but at that time period, it was good. And to be honest with you, I really can't wait to see the new ones. You know what I mean? Especially if they're bringing John Carpenter back to do it. I think that's going to be a really good concept, a really good representing Michael Myers, and especially if you said that it's supposed to continue where this one left off, right?
Right.
So I think that's going to be a really good aspect to the series. So I overall, with me, if I had rated with the acting, I definitely would rate the movie a 9 out of 10. Only the only reason why I won't give it the full 10 would be because of the acting concept. But I definitely give it a 9, and it's definitely one of those classic movies that I would definitely watch over and over again because it's classic. And I mean, come on, come on, let's just be realistic. I mean, you can never go wrong with some Michael Myers. Just saying.
Sure can.
No, you can't.
No, it gets me goosebumps every time I hear that damn song.
Everybody
That song. That song definitely sends shivers down my spine. But at the end of the day, overall, good movie.
Paul, Tessa?
Okay, I'm
What are
back.
my overall thoughts?
Oh, there's
on the
Lamont.
movie?
Hey, Lamont.
Lamont, what's your thoughts on the whole? What's your thoughts on the whole Halloween, the 1978? What's your thoughts on the whole thing?
Definitely an amazing. There's like really not many movies that can, as far as those old time slasher films.
Yeah,
It's definitely a cult classic.
I overall enjoyed the original by John Carpenter. I think, it's definitely probably one of my favorites of all the Halloween films because it's just, as cheesy as it may come off at certain points, it's actually pretty well done. And everybody knows how I feel about classics, so...
The classics are where it's at.
Yeah, the classics don't go out of style. They're, the originals are always great. So...
Yeah, just don't mess with the originals.
Yeah, don't mess with the originals. But...
Yeah. I mean, let's put it this way. The original Halloween is normally always the only Halloween film I technically watch because the others are good. Some of them are good in their own ways, and then other ones are just like, what am I watching?
Season of the Witch I didn't really care for because it didn't
involve Michael Myers.
It didn't involve Michael Myers. It didn't connect. So it's kind of one of those movies where I'm like, why? What's the point of this?
Yeah, exactly. That's like what I believe Crystal was saying too. Right, Crystal? You were saying the same thing? Yeah.
It had no point in that universe because it wasn't even in as the Michael Myers story itself.
Yeah. Yeah, so that would pretty much be, I think, my least favorite anyway. But I guess it's kind of like Manhunter with the Hannibal series. Like, Manhunter shouldn't really technically be known as like a Hannibal series film, but it is. So, yeah. That's what Season of the Witch reminds me of for Halloween. Like, it's a film that shouldn't be a film for a series. Unless it would, like, hit its own thing. But that's all I'm going to say. Pretty much the original Halloween is, like, technically the only Halloween I really watch.
Yeah. Like, I've watched, like, Halloween H2O and Halloween
Resurrection,
Resurrection, all those.
Stuff.
Pretty much by the time it got to like Halloween Resurrection, I just felt it just
Need to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just pretty much felt it took a nosedive.
Yep.
I think after the 5th one is where they should have ended it.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion.
No, I think I agree with you on that one. But, Lamont, what were you saying before, we couldn't talk? You were saying something, so I'll let you talk for a minute.
Oh, I was just talking about how I hope the new one lives up to how good this one is, because this one is instant classic, and I absolutely loved it.
And let's just hope it does live up.
Well, you guys all know how much I'm excited for this film. I mean, I've got high hopes for it because Halloween is my thing.
Right.
Even though Michael Myers scares the holy shit out of me, he is still, out of all the slashers, my favorite one. So to have John Carpenter step back into the light to help out with it, it really gives me hope that this will be like the Halloweens that I grew up with as a child. That will actually be like, okay, this may actually kind of give me the goosebumps. I want that old school horror feel. And I really hope that it comes out to play like that. So I'm really excited.
Agreed.
Don't screw it up, John Carpenter. Don't break my heart.
Don't do it. But I was going to say, too, before I realized that my voice wasn't being heard, I was going to start saying something, and then Barry took off, and then I just kind of let him be. But I didn't know that the mic was being stupid. But anyway, I wanted to talk about the part after Laurie stabbed Michael in the eye with the clothes hanger, or the coat hanger, depending on whatever you want to call it. Pretty much the clothes rack hanger. Anyway, can somebody please explain to me, if you got stabbed in the eye in the same angle that Michael Myers did, can you tell me how the hell you're going to start laying down in a perfectly lined...
I would think that if you're getting stabbed in the eye where he got stabbed, you would be thrown off and disorientated and not be like laying in like a, straight up and down position. You would be like flailed over on the floor.
Oh,
you
talking about like how he was
the closet,
the plane.
Yeah, the closet scene where he's attacking Laurie and she stabs him in the eye with a coat hanger.
Yeah, pretty much where Laurie
Yeah.
tosses the knife away.
Yeah. And the way he fell back. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I
not
definitely,
believable to me.
That definitely was unbelievable.
But that's the only real issue one of the real issues I really have with it is just that one, because I just don't get it.
I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it comes back to it's 1978.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think if that was to happen now, I'm pretty sure it'd look a lot more believable. But
yeah.
I definitely agree with you. You know, the way that whole thing, because he fell back, he kind of just laid flat. Like it kind of reminds me of when we were playing Friday the 13th and you knock Jason out and he just like falls back, perfectly aligned. You know what I mean? It reminded me of that type thing.
Right.
But yeah, I definitely agree with you. Where you as an avid viewer, you see something like that and how like ridiculous. Like, oh, he just got jabbed in the eye and he just fell back straight perfectly. Like okay, come on, that's hard to believe, right? But I definitely can relate to that.
Exactly.
But hopefully, like I said, hopefully the new things and everything, they'll be able to fix all that.
But what about you, Crystal? Did you notice that after he got stabbed in the eye?
He is like, I mean, no offense, if I get stabbed in the eyeball, I'm just not gonna lay down, filling around and hooping and hollering, just not take a nap on the ground. Oh, got something in my eye. It's time to take a nap.
Right.
That's not realistic. If you get stabbed, you're gonna freak the fuck out. I don't care who you are, mass murderer or anything. In your eyeball, that is gonna hurt. You're going to do something, but not take a nap. Taking a nap is not what you're going to do at that point in time in your life.
No.
He acted like getting stabbed in the eye. He just got stabbed with a tranquilizer. Oh, night.
Well, just like the needle in the neck. Stab the neck, go and take a nap. Stab in the eye, go and take a nap. I'm like, golly, are you like lethargic or something? Like when you get attacked, you instantly fall asleep?
I guess so.
Like when Loomis shot him, and he fell off the balcony and went on the ground, and Loomis.
Oh yeah, that one.
And Loomis goes to check on Lori, and then he goes back out to the window, and Michael's gone.
He's gone. I'm like, how do you get sick? I mean, like, how do you get shot 6 times and just get up like nothing happened?
How?
Yeah, right.
He took power nap, bro. He got up.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, it was the power nap, guys. In all situations, it was all because of the power nap.
He took 3 power naps that night. He was feeling pretty good at that moment. 6 bullet holes, fell up that balcony, took a power nap for a few seconds, got up, ready to go, recharged.
Yep.
But that also brought a lot of mystery to Michael Myers. What really is Michael Myers? This isn't no normal man, because no man gets shot 6 times
and
falls off a balcony and gets up.
Well, let me tell you something. If I got shit.
Go drink another one.
It happens.
No. If I got shot 6 times, okay, and I fell off the balcony and I was still alive and still able to talk, my first reaction was, you fucking shot me. That fucking bitch shot me. Like, I'd be like that, okay? I'd be like, oh, I'm bleeding out. You fucking bitch shot me. There's no way I'm getting shot 6 times and then just getting up. Like, there's nothing like...
I'm sorry, but with everything that I've seen in all of the Halloween movies, Michael Myers has had a shit ton of stuff done to him, and he just gets right back up.
He's a savage. I'm just saying.
I'll tell you one thing.
There's definitely something supernatural about him.
Yeah.
He couldn't go through a metal detector. All that metal in his body.
I'm telling you.
He wouldn't even need the knife. Just the bullet.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I really believe that he is not human, dude. I'm telling you, man. Just saying.
Well, that's what Halloween 6 is about.
Yeah.
It's about him having the Celtic curse put on him.
Halloween. Well, really, you know what it should be? They should do a origin of Michael Myers and understand how the power naps affected him. I'm telling you, man. Those power naps.
I need to get his power nap.
I'm telling you, bro, because I'm telling you, if you could take 3 power naps and live being shot 6 times, I mean, shit, I'm better than Jesus. I'm just saying. Put it out there. All I'm saying.
Oh boy.
Call me Morgan Freeman. Okay, I'm God. Okay. I want to take 3 power naps and get shot 6 times and see what happens.
And then get up and just start moving again.
Act like nothing happened to me. Act like, it's perfect. You know what I mean?
Right.
Get it? I don't get it.
I get
that.
So, I have some fun facts for you guys that you may or may not know.
What's some fun facts?
Yeah, let's hear them.
Well, which you guys probably know, but Lamont and Barry may not know, and some of the listeners may not know, in the credits of Halloween, they don't list Michael Myers as Michael Myers, actually. They actually list Michael Myers as the Shape.
Yep.
The what?
The Shape.
Yeah,
His name is not Michael Myers in the film. It's
The Shape. Yep.
Also, it's weird. Also, Halloween wasn't actually going to be called Halloween. It was actually called the Babysitter Murderer or Slasher or something like that. It was like Babysitter Killers or Babysitter Murderers. It was not going to be called Halloween, though.
What they should what they should call it is power naps. That's what they should call it. I'm just saying. Put it out there.
How to get your life right in 3 easy power naps.
Power naps. Just call it power naps. That's all it is. That's all it is. 3 power naps. 3 power naps. You survive 6 bullets. You go on a killing rampage.
The miracle of power naps. There we go.
Yeah, there you go. The miracle of power. Call them power naps. You know what I mean?
Let's see. Halloween had a budget of $300,000.
Yeah. I heard about that one. I did know that.
And grossed $46 million in the box office in the United States, $23 million internationally, for a total of $70 million worldwide.
Isn't that
phenomenal?
Isn't that like? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Isn't that like one of the top like movies like that made money? Like 71 like million, because I do remember that they said that it was up there with
it's one of the most profitable independent films ever made.
Yeah, I do.
Still is.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And a lot of people don't know, they don't believe it, but Michael Myers was actually what set up the doorway for Freddy and the guys that came after him. He is the one who set that milestone for Freddy and I want to say Jason and all them to come out. Because before Michael, there was a few slasher films. You had Hitchcock's Psycho, and I think you had like Black Christmas, but there wasn't really many films like that before Michael Myers came out. And Michael Myers really opened that doorway for slasher films with Freddy, Jason, and of course down the line, Scream. So without Halloween, who's to say where the slasher would have become?
Yeah, I agree with that.
I definitely agree with that. And it's funny that you mentioned that with the fun facts, because my buddy Chris and my cousin Josh, the one I recently go with, like my cousin Josh, he's really big into horror stuff, and my buddy he asked me a question because we were all just at the bar one time, and he asked me who would I rather be killed by, and it was Michael Myers, Freddy, Jason. There was somebody else too. And I said, to be honest with you, I'd like to be hacked to death. I said, I'd like to be hacked to death by Jason, but I was telling him, I was like, but then again, if Michael Myers was the one that killed me, I'd shit myself before I died. I'm just saying, Michael Myers had that aspect where he always did creep me out a little bit. It was just
he's your perfect stalker.
Oh man, it was like, shit, if I want to do that, it's child support. No, I'm fucking shit. I'm just saying. But yeah, that was brought up to me, and I would say I would definitely like to be killed by Jason, because the machete. But it would just creep me out if Michael Myers did it, because I'd be like, I couldn't imagine dying and the last thing you see was his mask. Jason, I'd be like, all right, some psycho in a hockey mask killed me. But that creepy ass white mask. Got me a little.
I hate to say it, but if you look at rip-off horror films, there's some masks that resemble Leatherface. There's some that resemble Jason's mask, or you got things that are burnt up, but there is no other, I don't care, B-rated, C-rated, I have yet to see kind of mask that even remotely resemble Michael Myers. I've never seen another ripoff of his. And it could be up there, but I've seen knockoffs of Screams, and I've seen knockoffs of Jason's and Freddy's, and, I've never seen any other horror film try to mock Michael Myers' mask. Ever. And that says something.
Agreed.
So, but that was all my fun facts that I had that I knew off the top of my head, which I didn't know the gross, so I had to look that one up, but all the other facts I knew off the top of my head.
Interesting.
I think that's it. Unless you guys wanted to, say else to add to it.
No, I think I covered my seat.
No, I said my tip.
Me too.
Yeah, we covered.
Well, guys, this Halloween when you're handing out candy, there's something to be important about. 1, don't have sex. 2, don't do drugs. And 3, Just remember, on Halloween,
Too late.
he
to
always
all of
comes home. So, on the count of 3, guys. Ready?
Mhm.
1, 2, 3. Stay
Stay
scary.
scary.
Bye, guys. Happy Halloween.